how does one discern using NFP for spacing purposes versus another form of birth control? My wife and I are converts in mid-40s, youngest is 12. Should we be open to life and see what the good Lord gives us?
Well, it's interesting the way he worded that. How do you discern using NFP versus other forms? Unless you mean total abstinence, the other forms you're talking about would be nothing to discern because they're all going to be damaging to your marriage. Right? Questions of discernment are never between something good and something evil. If it's evil and contraception is objectively evil, it is objectively damaging to marital love. It is objectively contrary to the language of marital love. It is an objective contradiction of the commitment that you made at the altar to receive children lovingly from God for a host of reasons. And if you're not clear on what those reasons are, please read my book, Good News About Sex and Marriage. And we'll get you a link for that and a discount code and whatever.
Well, do you want to do that now?
Oh, sure.
Because we'll have Josiah put it in the description, but what is
the book is Good News About Sex and Marriage. It's my Q&A book. And I'll tell my team to make a code that'll be Matt Fradd.
You'll have to tell us so that we'll do it. So it'll all be clear down below.
It'll be cleared, okay.
Because you'll tell us by that time.
So the Q&A book, please read that Q&A book if you are not clear. If you have not heard compelling arguments for the church's teaching against contraception, please read that book. So I'm going to jump at this question, assuming a Catholic perspective, which is you're not discerning NFP versus contraception, right? I want to get underneath, and he's saying, do we have just reasons to be avoiding children? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I would have to sit down and have a conversation with you. I could give you some examples of just reasons. You might have serious financial hardships in bringing another child into the world. You might have real health concerns, risk of life in having another pregnancy. You might have 5 kids under the age of 6 and you just need a breather. All of those could be just reasons. So I don't know if he has just reasons or not. But also I want to clarify something. Should we be open to life? Yes, you should always be open to life. But this too is it's a phrase that has entered into the lexicon of the way Catholics talk, which is confusing. As if let me back up and say the language the church actually uses is not each act of intercourse should remain open to life. That's a bad translation of Humanae Vitae, Pope Paul VI document that addressed this in 1968. And sadly, that bad translation has entered into the Catholic lexicon, at least in English-speaking countries. The words are each act should remain per se destinatus. Per se destined toward, ordered toward procreation, right?
Gotcha.
Has a different feel to it.
Yeah.
Because
for example, like my wife had to have surgery. She's incapable of having children. Our act it would be a little confusing to say, are you open to life?
Right.
But it would make more sense to say, are you acting in such a way that
you are engaging in the act that is per se destinatus to generate life.
Yeah.
And you have not done anything willfully to thwart that.
Right.
And so that's a very good example of why that openness to life language is problematic. It's not the language of Humanae Vitae.
Yep.
So if he's asking, should each and every act of intercourse that my wife and I engage in remain per se destinatus for the generation of... Absolutely it should. The question is, do you have a just reason to be abstaining from the marital act in order not to bring another life into the world? And I can't answer that because I haven't sat down with him to know him. But I will say this. John Paul II is very clear on this. He says the couple alone have the responsibility to discern that question.
Yeah. We see this in other areas of church life too. Am I too sick to go to Mass? in the catechism, it says that another reason for not attending or not having to fulfill your Sunday obligation is the care of little children.
Yeah.
There is freedom here where I have to discern because I'm a grown-ass man.
Yes. And you have moral responsibility there.
Yes.
Oftentimes, when we are saying, would somebody just make the decision for me?
Yeah.
What we're saying is, I don't like the fact that the responsibility to make this decision is on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Would you make it for me? No. You must make that decision.
There's also a real desire not to displease the Lord. I think that's the positive way of putting it, because I think, and I think scrupulosity comes in here for sure. But I've definitely had people say like, okay, but am I sick enough? Like, how sick do I have to be? I mean, I can still get out of bed. I want to say to everybody who's coughing behind me at Mass, please don't come
home.
again.
Yeah.
For my sake, not for anybody else's sake, not even for your sake. I don't want to look at you. If you're blowing your nose behind me, don't come out in public for at least 2 weeks. It's disgusting. The weave, what? Oh yeah, I really don't like it. There's a difference between a. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the deep, guttural, phlegmy. Your face is red. You're sweating.
Yeah.
Why would you come here?
Yeah.
Why? All right, that's one of my pet peeves. I have many pet peeves.
I'm trying to think.
So many.
Have I ever gone to Mass like that?
Well, have I? I don't. Yeah. But the point is,
I know what your point is.
People don't want to displease our Lord, which I think is partly where I want to be sure I'm not. That's where it comes from.
But that's where scruples also can really strangle the vitality of the living the Christian life out of us. Yeah.
I want to tell you about Hallow, which is the #1 downloaded prayer app in the world. It's outstanding. Hallow.com/Matt Fradd. Sign up over there right now and you will get the first 3 months for free. That's like a lot of time. You can decide whether it's useful to you or not, whether it's helpful. If you don't like it, you can always quit. Hallow.com/Matt Fradd. I use it. My family uses it. It's fantastic. There are over 10,000 audio guided prayers, meditations, and music, including my lo-fi. Hallow has been downloaded over 15 million times in 150 different countries. It helps you pray, helps you meditate, helps you sleep better. It helps you build a daily routine and a habit of prayer. There's honestly so much excellent stuff on this app that it's difficult to get through it all. Just go check it out. Hallow.com/Matt Fradd. The link is in the description below. It even has an entire section for kids. So if you're a parent, you could play little Bible stories to them at night. It'll help them pray. Fantastic. Hallow.com/Matt Fradd.